Good morning and happy Wednesday. I just want to say thank you for all that are coming. I have a new subscriber I noticed this morning, so I'm up to 3, which I know may not seem like a big deal, but to me, I was wondering if anybody would subscribe. So I just want to say thank you for those that have subscribed and have been there to hear God's word, not my word, and just to keep encouraging me to do that. At least I hope I'm making a difference and this is helping you. So we're going to keep on going and in Genesis again still. So I don't believe I'm going to finish it because it seems like a couple of them are pretty long. So we're going to start with chapter 46 today. So here's our morning prayer. Father, as I read and receive your word, may it deeply be rooted in me, so when difficulty comes, it will be your word that encourages and strengthens me. Okay, let's get into it. And I'm sorry if you hear background noise. The cats are a little active this morning for some reason. And there's the bark. Chapter 46, Jacob's journey to Egypt. So Jacob set out for Egypt, but with all his possessions. And when he came to Beersheba, he offered sacrifices to the God of his father Isaac. During the night, God spoke to him in a vision. Jacob, Jacob, he called. Here I am, Jacob replied. I am God, the voice, he said, the God of your father. Do not be afraid to go down to Egypt, for I will see to it that you become a great nation there. I will go with you down to Egypt, and I will bring your descendants back again. But you will die in Egypt with Joseph at your side. So Jacob left Beersheba, and his sons brought him to Egypt. They carried their little ones and wives in the wagons Pharaoh had provided for them. They brought their livestock too, and all the belongings they had acquired in the land of Canaan. Jacob and his entire family arrived in Egypt, sons and daughters, grandsons and granddaughters, all his descendants. These are the names of the Israelites, the descendants of Jacob, who went with him to Egypt. Reuben was Jacob's oldest son. The sons of Reuben were Hanok, Palu, Hezron, and Carmi. The sons of Simeon, I got a cough. The sons of Simeon were Jemuel, Jamin, Ohad, Jachin, Zohar, Shaul. Shaul's mother was a Canaanite woman. The sons of Levi were Goshen, Kohath, Merari. The sons of Judah were Onan, Shelah, Perez, and Zerah. But and Onan had died in the land of Canaan. The sons of Perez were Hezron and Hamul. The sons of Issachar were Tula, Pua, Joshab, and Shimron. The sons of Zebulun were Sered, Elon, and Jalil. These are the sons of Jacob who were born to Leah and Padan Aram, along with their sister Dinah. In all, Jacob's descendants through Leah numbered 33. The sons of Gad were Zephron, Hagi, Shuni, Ezbon, Eri, Arodi, and Areli. The sons of Asher were Imnah, Ishvai, Beriah. Their sister was named Sarah. Sarai, probably. Berah's sons were Heber and Malchiel. These 16 were descendants of Jacob through Zilpah, the servant given to Leah by her father Laban. The sons of Jacob's wife Rachel were Joseph and Benjamin. Joseph's sons born in the land of Egypt were Manasseh and Ephraim. Their mother was Asenath, daughter of Potipharah, priest of Heliopolis. Benjamin's sons were Bela, Becher, Ashbel, Jerah, Naaman, Ei, Rosh, Mupin, Huppim, and Ard. These 14 were the descendants of Jacob and his wife Rachel. The son of Dan was Husham. The sons of Naphtali were Jazil, Guni, Jezer, and Shillem. These 7 were the descendants of Jacob through Bilhah, the servant given to Rachel by her father Laban. So the total number of Jacob's direct descendants who went with him to Egypt, not counting his sons' wives, was 66. Joseph had 2 sons who had been born in Egypt. So altogether there were 70 members of Jacob's family in the land of Egypt. Jacob's family arrives in Goshen. Jacob sent Judah on ahead to meet Joseph and get directions to the land of Goshen. And when they all arrived there, Joseph prepared his chariot and traveled to Goshen to meet his father. As soon as Joseph arrived, he embraced his father and wept on his shoulder for a long time. Then Jacob said to Joseph, "Now let me die, for I have seen you with my own eyes and know you are still alive." And Joseph said to his brothers and to all their households, "I'll go and tell Pharaoh that you all have come from the land of Canaan to join me. And I will tell him, these men are shepherds and livestock breeders. They have brought with them their flocks and herds and everything they own. So when Pharaoh calls for you and asks you about your occupation, tell him, we have been livestock breeders from our youth, and our ancestors have been for many generations. When you tell him this, he will let you live here in the land of Goshen, for shepherds are despised in the land of Egypt." Jacob, Chapter 47. Jacob blesses Pharaoh. So Joseph went to see Pharaoh and said, "My brother and my brothers are here from Canaan. They came with all their flocks and herds and possessions, and they are now in the land of Goshen." Joseph took 5 of his brothers with him and presented them to Pharaoh. Pharaoh asked them, "What is your occupation?" And they replied, "We are shepherds like our ancestors. We have come to live here in Egypt, for there is no pasture for our flocks in Canaan. The famine is very severe there. We request permission to live in the land of Goshen." And Pharaoh said to Joseph, "Now that your family has joined you here, choose any place you like for them to live. Give them the best land of Egypt. The land of Goshen will be fine. And if any of them have any special skills, put them in charge of my livestock too." Then Joseph brought his father Jacob and presented him to Pharaoh. And Jacob blessed Pharaoh. "How old are you?" Pharaoh asked him. Jacob replied, "I have lived for 130 hard years. But I am still not nearly as old as many of my ancestors." Then Jacob blessed Pharaoh again before he left. So Joseph assigned the best land of Egypt, the land of Rameses, to his father and brothers. But as Pharaoh had commanded, and Joseph furnished food to his father and brothers in amounts appropriate to the number of their dependents. Joseph's leadership in the famine. Meanwhile, the famine became worse and worse, and the crops continued to fail throughout Egypt and Canaan. Joseph collected all the money in Egypt and Canaan in exchange for grain. He brought the money to Pharaoh's treasure house. When the people of Egypt and Canaan ran out of money, they came to Joseph crying again for food. "Our money is gone," they said, "but give us bread. Why should we die?" "Well then," Joseph replied, "since your money is gone, give me your livestock. I will give you food in exchange." So they gave their livestock to Joseph in exchange for food. Soon all the horses, flocks, herds, and donkeys of Egypt were in Pharaoh's possession. But at least they were able to purchase food for that year. The next year they came again and said, "Our money is gone, our livestock are yours. We have nothing left but our bodies and land. Why should we die before your very eyes? Buy us and our land in exchange for food, and we will become servants to Pharaoh. Just give us grain so that our lives may be saved, and so the land will not become empty and desolate." So Joseph bought all the land of Egypt for Pharaoh, and all the Egyptians sold him their fields because the famine was so severe. And their land then belonged to Pharaoh. Thus all the people of Egypt became servants to Pharaoh. The only land he didn't buy was that belonging to the priests, for they were assigned food from Pharaoh and didn't need to sell their land. Then Joseph said to the people, "See, I have bought you and your land for Pharaoh. I will provide you with seed, so you can plant the fields. Then when you harvest it, 1/5 of your crop will belong to Pharaoh. Keep 4/5 for yourselves, and use it to plant the next year's crop and to feed yourselves, your households, and your little ones." "You have saved our lives," they exclaimed. May it please you, sir, to let us be Pharaoh's servants." Joseph then made it a new law throughout the land of Egypt, and it is still the law, that Pharaoh should receive 1/5 of all the crops grown on his land. But since Pharaoh had not taken over the priest's land, they were exempt from this payment. So the people of Israel settled in the land of Goshen in Egypt, and before long they began to prosper there, and their population grew rapidly. Jacob lived for 17 years after his arrival in Egypt, so when he was 147 years old, when he died. At the time of his death drew near, he called for his son Joseph and said to him, "If you are pleased with me, swear most solemnly that you will honor this, my last request. Do not bury me in Egypt. When I am dead, take me out of Egypt and bury me beside my ancestors." So Joseph promised that he would. "Swear you we will do it," Jacob insisted. So Joseph gave his oath, and Jacob bowed in worship as he leaned on his staff. All right. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope this has helped you this morning. I know it does me every morning. And I hope you're blessed. And we got 3 more chapters. May not get through those yet tomorrow. We'll see. Tomorrow might be a long one to get through it, to get through the last 3. I hope you have a great day. Have a blessed day. And just remember, reach out to someone and bless them. And make it a great day. Thank you. And thank you again for another subscriber. God's great. Thank you.